10 years old and already alone, which meant he learned early that the world does not come to save you. 7 years of chopping wood and herding cattle for a man who owned everything he couldn't. The dirt under his nails was not weakness, it was the only education he could afford. Then a talking bull showed up and called him pathetic, which was somehow the most honest thing anyone had ever said to him. The bull had a book that looked like a marriage contract but carried the weight of a god who died making the world. Pangu gave everything to create the heavens, and what remained of him became this, a relic that could bind 100 women to one man and steal their power. He did not ask for this. He asked to survive, and survival handed him something far more dangerous. A golden core cultivator was asleep by the river, drugged, unguarded, and the rope was already in his hand. Every reasonable part of him said this was how a nobody gets erased. He walked toward her anyway. The moment she called him husband, the book recorded her name like it had been waiting his whole life for someone to finally show up. He stood surrounded by power that was never supposed to belong to him, holding a destiny that was written in the kidneys of a god. Nobody gives a forgotten boy this kind of weapon by accident. The question that will follow him now is not whether he is strong enough. It is whether the world is ready for what happens when someone who has nothing left to lose finally has everything. The bull had a plan, and the nerve to call it destiny. He got dragged through a field before he even agreed to anything. A poor boy with a rope in his hand, and no good reason to use it, except that the alternative was dying exactly as he had lived. The bull smiled the way only something ancient and shameless can smile. She was by the river, untouchable, the kind of power that takes a lifetime to build, and one bad decision to lose. He told himself he was a man of justice, which was technically true and completely beside the point. The rope stayed in his hand longer than it should have. Then the bull said the dates she was washing were not ordinary dates, and something in him shifted without his permission. He did not look away as fast as he should have. The bull called that progress. He called the bull a liar, and the bull did not disagree. What neither of them said out loud was that she was already waking up, the barrier already cracking, and the plan that was never really a plan was now the only plan there was. A boy who spent 7 years being told he had nothing was about to find out what happens when a woman with everything calls him husband. The bull grinned like it had seen this story before. Maybe it had. He crossed over expecting the world to hand him something. The world handed him a cow. No spiritual root meant no cultivation, no power, no future, just grass and hooves, and a birthday counting down to a war he had no business surviving. 2 days until 16, and the border army was already writing his name on a list nobody comes back from. He lay in the field like a man who had already accepted the ending. The bull had been waiting 500 years for exactly this kind of person. Someone with nothing left to protect, which meant nothing left to lose. Something hit the bull, and the red light that followed was not a warning. It was a beginning. The boy did not know yet that the animal he had been feeding grass all his life had just decided his entire future without asking him.